Good morning, everybody. I'm Chris Warden.
I'm Andy Jones-Wilkins.
And we're back here again Monday morning. Cocodona 250, yet again, the fourth running of this suddenly amazing race.
Chris, it is amazing to be here. Cocodona 250 in 4 short years has become a must-watch event on the Trail and Ultra calendar, and this year's race promises to be just incredible. Yeah, you know, I think what we've seen in the evolution of 200s is there was a time 5-6 years ago where it was the niche of the niche sport. Now you see those niches crossing over, 100-mile specialists, flat road specialists coming on into this event and trying their hands at it. I think we see that in living color this year. And they're off, Chris. The 2024 Cocodona 250 has launched.
And a lot of the 200s, there's been some really good runners, but there hasn't been the depth. Not too often do you really have a solid battle in the front.
And to have 4 course record holders and Browning from the start calling out, breaking the course record by 10 hours, that's like, it raised the bar for all the male field for sure. And,
we'll see if we can pull it off.
These are essentially professional athletes in this obscure space where you're pushing the envelope of your mind, your body, and your soul, really. Because it takes everything in a combination of that. The way that athletes are now approaching these events, we've been waiting for this.
I'm Jeff Browning.
Michael McKnight.
Joe McConaughey. Some people call me String Bean.
My name is Michael Versteeg.
I'm Arlen Glick. I live in Ohio and I run ultramarathons.
Going into this event, why was it so hyped? Well, you had the first 3 winners of the first 3 editions of Cocodona. And then you had Jeff Browning, who won the inaugural Sedona Canyons 125. So essentially, like 4 Cocodona champions. And then you've got Arlen Glick, who is one of the best 100-mile runners, coming in and treating this as his A race.
Gosh, it's going to be really tough to call. I know for the old guys, I'm rooting for Jeff.
If I look back and reflect, I didn't think I would still be this like stoked on stuff at this age, but I still have the desire.
He's just that focused. I think he has that much stoke for the course and the experience and he's competitive.
It takes competition to rise to the occasion. And you know, if there's truly gonna be like a breakout performance, you have to have someone pushing you.
Super awesome guy, and I'd probably say out of everybody, like he's the one that I'm most afraid of in terms of like competing for the win.
Mike McKnight has been here before multiple times, won it last year and holds the course record.
The most winningest 200-mile athlete in history, and someone who knows this course and has been out there every single year and has experienced victory and agony of defeat.
This is definitely the most competitive 200 I've ever been a part of, and it does excite me, like, for a lot of reasons. But I would say the biggest reason is I have a little imposter syndrome. You know, I don't necessarily need to win to like help me get over my imposter syndrome, but you know, I would like to give everybody a run for their money, and I would like to, you know, at least get on the podium.
Bursty obviously can run well. He runs well in the heat. He's did really well the first year.
It was, I think, the first big race that I saw him in was the first Cocodona.
I think it's a desire and also like a mindset. Like he gets pointed in a direction and he can go forever.
Those are sort of the days of the year that I choose to like lean into that part of my personality, even though it's like I don't consider myself to be a competitive person in general. If you're running Cocodona, it really helps if this is not the hardest thing you've ever done. And so for somebody like Joe, running 250 miles is not the hardest thing he's ever done.
No, I feel like I've been putting in good training and just am excited to kind of get out there and push myself.
Like how fast that dude is, and yet like his experience in multi-day events is just unmatched by anybody else.
I feel like the statement I want to have as a runner is I want to go down as someone who like pushed the limits of multi-day racing. Arlen Glick will be interesting because it's his first 200+ mile race.
He's definitely a wild card.
His winning percentage is insane for the short amount of time he's been in the sport.
It's a lot of fun to hear about all his races, learn what it's like to go and win races.
I mean, I'm sure he's gonna try and put it all out there.
He's not just some strong runner physically, mentally, and spiritually. I think that plays a big part in how well he runs.
I mean, I know this film is like focusing on like the 5 guys at the front or whatever, but like there's 10 other guys that could win this race. It's like you just have no idea.
Forget your foregone conclusions. Settle in, settle now. Give up your sweet illusions, 'cause your walls are falling down.
It started for me, the initial roots was just finding out about ultra running, and then ran my first ultra and just fell in love with the community, the sport itself, the effort, like what happens to your mind out there. I mean, I feel like it is a bunch of misfits, the sport. The route itself was tied in with Black Canyon, and getting involved with the Black Canyon Trail Coalition and hearing about their eventual plans to drive the Black Canyon Trail all the way up to Williams, which is west of Flagstaff. I thought that was the coolest thing, and that when that trail was completed, it's like we would host an event there, or we would extend the Black Canyon 100K all the way up or down. The coalition doesn't have a ton of funding. The trail's built a lot by volunteers, and so they're making progress, but it's gonna be, it might be another decade or more before it gets all the way up there. For us, we didn't want to wait that long. We couldn't wait that long. As the idea marinated and evolved, and that's when my friend and I, Anthony Culpepper, we started getting maps out and piecing together, well, how could we connect this route? How could we make this route today using existing trails and roads and connections? And then it just started coming together.
Morning. Here we are. This is the start of the first ever Cocodona 250.
We did a scouting run when we were piecing it together. And we wanted to do it not in pieces, but straight through.
5:51. Okay.
We were thinking it would be around 200 miles when we set out to create this, and we quickly found out that it was going to be over 200. Then I think as it took shape, it was this little spark that grew into a fire that just became something that we had to make happen over time. Sometimes when you just get something that sticks enough, it just doesn't go away, and I just feel compelled to move towards it, I guess.
I'm Jeff Browning, old guy, veteran ultra runner. 2 weeks from today, Cocodona 250, just kicking off the taper basically today.
Like we had a motorcycle in our barn that our hired hand fixed up, and then I'd ride that every once in a while. I'd go steal it, dude. On the peg, just whoa, you can just turn into it and like do donuts.
Life sort of shuts down for Cocodona week. And all the Flagstaff ultra runners, we're kind of stoked on this week because it's a big deal for us.
I spaced. I was cutting steak.
You guys want pickles?
I'm good. Full disclosure, if my wife knew we were doing this, I'd be in trouble. I have a little bit of a gear problem.
He has a huge resume. I think he has 30 plus 100-mile wins.
Yeah, it's heavy. Here's one. Here's two. Yeah. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Actually, I like this one.
You
Bear
need
100.
Maybe you should display this one in the garage or something, because that's kind of cool.
I like this one. It's hard rock. 2018, 2019 Bear 100. Oh, this is one of my favorites. This is 2012 Wasatch 100. Look at that mountain goat skull. But it's kind of cool. I like that one.
You need to dust it though.
That was my second 100, 6th place. There you go. Second 100 in 2004.
That's cool.
What is it going to take to win this thing? Whoever can execute the best on their own plan. I think it's going to take a course record, a significant course record, to win. So I feel I'm prepared from a course perspective and training and gear and all that. Now I just kind of got to put it all together.
If I had $1 million, I'd probably take 500,000 and put it on Mike and Jeff, because I'm probably gonna win something between the two. It's hard to gamble against Mike, and it's hard to gamble against Jeff. It's like, I think this is gonna be the most exciting year yet.
Michael McKnight, Northern Utah, getting ready for the Cocodona 250.
You guys here?
We're supposed to bounce the bugs off without letting them touch us.
And we have 2 lives.
2, I thought you said 3. We're down to 2?
Yeah. 3,
Okay.
2, 1.
Go. So yeah, this is the 4th year of Cocodona, and this is my 4th time showing up to it. So I've been there all the years. So in 2019, I did the Triple Crown of 200s, which is Bigfoot, Tahoe, and Moab. And I set out just to improve my time from when I did it a couple years prior. And throughout the course of that, I ended up winning like all 3 of those races, which was something that I didn't intend to do. It just kind of happened.
I mean, we got Mike, who is stubborn, tougher than nails, seasoned veteran at the 200 plus distance. That's his distance, obviously.
Cocodona was the first 200 after that, and so I went into Cocodona probably a little cocky. DNF the first year. That was like my first 200 DNF, so that one was kind of sore. And then came back the next year in a similar fashion, had a terrible first day, electrolyte imbalance, and everybody told me I was roughly 10 hours and 70-something places behind Killian and Versteeg. Anyway, made a big comeback and ended up passing everybody past Killian with about a marathon to go, and ended up getting the win in the course record.
So you're gearing up for what race?
I think that's the one I did last time before our podcast, the garbage bins.
Is that in Arizona?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the heat one. That's the brutal one.
Yeah. That's the one. I don't know if you saw the last year where I was like behind by like 10 hours. Then I came back and won it at the very end.
That's wild, bro. Weren't you hallucinating and stuff like partway through that?
Well, that happens at every race I do.
Right. Just natural.
It's that first day that every time has been like the biggest crutch for him. So we're just hoping that he's able to kind of conquer that first day and really be able to see what he can do with this race.
Even though I'm stoked to finally get the win, I still know that there's a lot more I could do out there just with factoring in like how much I struggled that first day. So I do still think there's quite a bit of time that I can shave off of what I did last year.
And I see you've been out here for like a month.
Yeah, I have. I got my life straightened out a little bit.
Yeah.
Got a pull behind camper and a Jeep and like set up to be able to, it's pretty sweet. I came out here like 5 weeks before the race, so it'll be about a 7 weeks total that I'll be out here. And I just wanted to like spend a lot of time on course. I think it's 14.
It's over here. Oh, how you doing, man?
I'm good. And you?
Good.
I do think I have invested more into this race than any race in my career. When I stand at the start line, I do think I have more invested into the race than anyone else. So there's like a certain level of confidence that comes with that.
All right. Let's go.
You, the landlord, play it cool and sweet. But just how many widows have you?
I'm Arlen Glick. I live in Ohio and I run ultramarathons.
Mike McKnight is the name. I mean, I've seen when watching some of the races, and who are the other ones?
We got Joe McConaughey. He won the race almost a couple years back. He's a really fast dude that's like super well known in the FKT multi-day events.
Yeah.
That he'll be a really fun character. And then we have Michael Versteeg. He was the first Cocodona finisher ever.
You're gonna have your hands full.
Yeah.
You got Arlen, who's very fast, and this is your first long run.
Yeah, I think this is the first time in a long time I've been referred to as being the dark horse. And it's just like, that's so cool.
It takes pressure off you. It does. When you're either going in and say, okay, we're picking Arlen to beat all these guys. So now you just go in there and do your thing, and I think you'll be good.
You'll try. There's like these big schools of fish, same location, but they weren't that deep. They weren't down sitting on the bottom. Yeah, so I always heard about these fish that are like so difficult to catch and like so rare, and didn't even know that they were lurking in some of the lakes right around where we live. But they call them the fish of 10,000 casts because like a lot of people fish their whole life and never hook one. Yeah, that's the fish I've chosen. It goes really well with my ultra running career. It's like, you when you set your eyes on a big goal and you want to go do something that's really hard, like, it takes a lot of training, and like you spend a lot of time getting ready for that one big event, and then you do it, but what you put into it is a lot, and that's a lot the way fishing for muskie are. Like, you spend a lot of time out on the water and a lot of research and trying to figure out how it's done, and then that moment when you do catch one and it's like, wow, that was bigger than maybe all the fish I ever caught in my life combined. You know, and that feels pretty good.
I have always been looking out. I wonder what I'd see looking down.
Marlon! Dude!
How you been, man?
I'm good. Good to see you.
See you too.
Oh, excited?
Yeah. You better believe it.
Ready to rock?
Yeah.
Getting some good time in Arizona.
Oh yeah. Get to have all the fun in advance.
I know, you do.
Then it's all work.
Then, well, no, it'll all be
Bad
fun.
about,
We'll
like-
still have a good time.
Yeah.
I'm Joe, by the way.
This is my sister.
Yes.
Deanna.
Nice to meet you, Dean.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Zanak.
Nice to meet you, Zanak.
They're the
What's up, dude?
Yeah?
How are you?
ready for this?
Yeah, man. Hi.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm Jeff.
Hi, I'm Deanna.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Hey, I'm just saying hi to you.
I was gonna say we haven't really officially met, man.
Come
Yeah.
here.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Good to race you finally.
Yeah, man.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I know, I was going to butt in, but you were talking to Arlen's sister. So.
Yeah. Yeah, good luck tomorrow.
You too. Should be a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready to rock.
Yeah, right on. Yeah. How's your, I was watching your, what do you call it? The little Stairmaster?
Oh, stair stepper. Yeah,
Stair
yeah.
stepper.
Doesn't end. Just keep going.
That's
No,
cool.
It's honestly pretty fun.
Yeah.
Good, because I've had an Achilles thing for 2 years. It's never too bad, but it's like
Always
if I were to-
kind of there.
It's like if I were to run on it all the time, it would get too cranky at me. But if I
But you use that.
get some stair stepper,
You still get the vert, but you
don't get the vert, don't get the hurt. So
Good,
That's a
good.
great phrase. You never thought about that.
Yeah, there you go.
So this is a stair stepper. Just doing a 45-minute session, easy session. I'm doubling on my run from this morning. This is how I work in my chronic Achilles injury and get the training that I want without sacrificing volume and without kind of risking my Achilles health. So usually I just kind of go in here, head forward, I'm in my paint cave, and I just grind, you know.
See from where you're standing.
So my name's Joe McConaughey. Some people call me String Bean. Live in Seattle, Washington, and I love running crazy, far, long distances, pushing myself to the max, but really just kind of being out there and yeah, just having rad times with rad people.
Joe keeps things light. Like, we'll be hauling up a 30% grade hill and he's like laughing about some story that he's telling me. And so I think it's a part of like not taking yourself too seriously. You're doing these incredible races and incredible feats of human endurance. I think you got to keep it light.
You're not gonna hype me up on some of the workouts we've done? Come on.
See, I've gotten dropped on so many workouts with you, man. It's like,
Joe McConaughey, one of the top through hiking FKT athletes ever, especially of long trail. So, you know, he is setting speed records in the Appalachian Trail, on the Pacific Crest Trail. He's stepping down in effort and distance to do something like Cocodona. So you know he has that tank. Like the reserves that he can draw from are almost limitless.
Yeah, I hope we go out and win. I mean, that's what you're always shooting for, right? And I feel like I got a pretty good shot at doing that if I can run my own race and run well. And at the very least, I just want to go out and feel like I raced strategically as well as I could have for kind of what I was capable of for the day.
I think it's been a couple rocky years, I would say, for injuries and racing and whatnot for him. And I think Cocodona feels like this fun chance to just like get back to his roots and his like bread and butter of what he's really good at.
Hello. Yep, here it is.
Amazing.
Good.
There you go.
Thank you
You
so
know the
much.
drill, right?
I think so. Morning for everything.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
Morning for the tracker and everything.
Yeah. Bring your state.
No, I had my wife hide it from me today, so I couldn't hurt myself on it.
Grab a pair of socks around the corner here.
Okay, thanks.
Ladder apron?
Yeah.
Dude, that's the best one.
Yeah, I would just.
Dude.
I won on the bid number.
All right, could you one without the bit?
Yeah.
Can you believe how big this race has gotten?
I can actually. I mean, I can believe it for sure.
This is
It's
insane.
Yeah.
I mean, remember
The
year
first
one?
year.
It was just like, we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into.
Yeah.
Now there's like 300 people, and then all the other races. I'm like blown away.
Cool, man. Hey.
Hi, buddy.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
You ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Ready? More ready than any other Cocodona you've had?
Correct.
Sweet.
Not necessarily ready, but more than other years.
Yeah.
I want to float like a bird, slow and low. I want to follow the river wherever it goes. I want the wheels of time to jump the track. I want to leave all my troubles and not look back.
My name is Michael Versteeg. I'm from Prescott, Arizona. And I'll be competitively jogging Cocodona. It's like we're coming on 2 years of owning this property. And I realized that like it had been 2 years, I didn't have a mini ramp, and I was like pretty ashamed of myself. So yeah, just decided to go for it. So, life goals, you know, like hot tub and a mini ramp.
In the schoolyard, trouble in the park.
For whatever reason, this year feels like a special year, and I don't know why that is. As of right now, I feel like this will most likely be my last year trying to be competitive at this race, and so just wanting to do the best that I can, wanting to look back on my time as an ultra runner and know that I tried hard at least once.
I want to sleep under the stars and fade away. Let the wind take my
Yeah, I'm not a very good, like I don't train very well. I have a really hard time, like, running just for the sake of running.
At least my impression of Versteeg is he's very just like, you know, he's kind of a front runner, but he's also very flowy and like just go with flow and like do his thing. You know, he's kind of like the epitome of like the dirtbag runner.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Versteeg is a bit of a renaissance man, a man of many talents, a man of mystery. Yeah, a truly authentic individual living life on his own terms.
Part of being a human being and part of being alive is engaging with the world around you. Running is a means to exploration and adventure, and if I don't feel that, I don't really like feel the drive to go out and just do it.
At Bumblebee, we're gonna have food, refreshments for purchase. live stream, merchandise, and the runner map up. So come hang out. It's a great little shaded spot. It's really awesome. Is anyone excited? Yeah. Sweet. Okay, it'll change you. It's an awesome race. Don't rush too far along. Take your time and enjoy it. We'll see you guys in the morning. Thank you very much.
The energy is definitely building. People are heading now over to the start area. So, you know, we are just about 10 minutes out here.
While on the surface, what confronts these runners is 250 miles and over 40,000 feet of vertical gain across the central Arizona deserts and mountains. What really confronts them is a look into their soul, a look into why they do this, what they do this for, and how on earth they're going to make it from Phoenix to Flagstaff.
Going up to Lane Mountain, the first section, it was a cooler day than what I was expecting. It's pretty rare in this race for it to be cool on the day one.
It actually, I felt really good for the first 50K.
I fell probably like step 30 of the race, which is a great way to start 250 miles. So that's how I got this guy and this guy, and I have a big thing all up my gash all up my knee.
Yeah, so on that first day, my strategy was to take it somewhat easy. But then at one point, I remember Joe McConaughey just flew by.
I just kind of got in the Congo line. Maybe 10 minutes later, I'd passed a few people and I caught up to Versteeg. And I was like, okay, that's good. Like, we're probably in like 50th place right now. But at least Versteeg is like chilling.
It was actually almost the opposite. Once Joe caught up to me, I saw Joe, and Joe was like hopping around people. I was like, well, fuck it. If you're gonna go, I'm gonna go. And so that's when I started like jumping off trail and passing people and getting up into the more probably appropriate areas of the race, you know.
And I ended up separating from Versteeg and a few folks and started to kind of get in my rhythm and was like, okay, the real climb begins, the real racing begins, like, let's go.
Lane Mountain is the first major aid station in this race, and 32 miles in, I cannot believe how quickly the first men have gotten here.
Yeah, and it was a 6:38. They are flying. String Bean is flying. Just to put this in perspective, he's climbed 11,000 feet in just over 50K. Had to carry a huge pack. You can see it right there.
I didn't expect Joe to go out so hard. That surprised me. And then it just ended up being Killian and Versteeg and I. We came in there together, the three of us came into Lane Mountain together.
And then where's the top?
Here you go, Jeff. Crushing it, man.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thanks, you guys.
Guess I gotta keep going.
Hey guys, Arlen, let's go!
Oh yeah! Good job!
Okay. Go man, looking good.
There's Mike McKnight, familiar face on our broadcast, defending champion from 2023.
Yeah, and I mean, he looks good. He looks like he normally does, but wow, he's got his work cut out for him.
Hold on, the other guys come through.
Go! First put it on the power down. Power? Mike!
Nice.
Got it. It's your race. You know you can come back.
Yeah, when I hit Lane Mountain and found out that I was an hour behind the other guys, I was really surprised. I felt like that section went really well for me, better than most years. So to hear that I was that far behind when it went well for me was concerning.
I think if there's anything to be said about Mike, he's not going to be disappointed if he's way back in the field. He realizes that the only thing that really matters is when he crosses that finish line.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Let's
go. Dude, I was feeling so good till the past 15 minutes. All of a sudden I got to puke. Yeah, I'd say there's a couple things I want from the race. I mean, obviously, like I was saying, I have that imposter syndrome, so, you know, I don't necessarily need to win to like help me get over my imposter syndrome, but, you know, I would like to give everybody a run for their money, and I would like to, you know, at least get on the podium. So yeah, this is the Cornish cemetery. My grandparents are up here. I have an uncle that's up here too. My dad's younger brother died of pneumonia at a pretty young age. And so, like 10 years ago when I broke my back skiing, my physical therapy was to walk every day. And so most days I would walk up here to see my grandparents' grave. But another reason I love coming up to this cemetery is just the view out here. Looking at all those mountains and just seeing everywhere that I grew up. A lot of nostalgia out here. I hated growing up here, but now I never want to leave.
Grandpa, don't overlap.
Don't overcook here. So those, okay, so that one's. My name's Chris McKnight. Michael McKnight is my youngest son. I mean, when you drive out to Cornish and see what a dinky little town Cornish is, and to think that a kid from Cornish is known basically around the world. I mean, he's made friends all over the world at these races. And so I guess that's what surprises me most, is he's gone from a little farming community to be, you know, a well-known athlete, and he's put his heart into it. Okay, so this is the car, what it looked like when we got it from California with Michael. So there's Michael when he was 12 or 13 years old. He had to feed the calves up there, the calf huts, and he would get mad, he would body slam the calves. Right off of that. Yeah, it was so frustrating when they wouldn't drink the milk. I had no patience. Yeah, I was not patient. My crew, like I always have my wife. She knows me best.
As our relationship progressed, it kind of became like just, it was our thing. Like it was my way of supporting him and like showing my love for him. Ready? I'm lucky to know that he appreciates me being there. It's a team effort. We're there together.
So I ended up getting through to Crown King feeling really good.
I've seen him over the years, like, you know, he's the first person I saw in a 200. Like when he came here in 2022 and won, and I saw him transition through Jerome and his crew and seeing how good he was at like planning logistics and being efficient. And I saw him transition in that, on the live feed that year. And I was like, oh, that's where this is going. Like 200s aren't like, hey, I'm sitting in a chair, I need this, I need that, maybe I need that. No, it's like boom, 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 out. And I was like, he's racing at like 100.
Get up in the shade a little bit, or you good?
Like super efficient.
Dude, looking good, buddy.
I mean, I knew that's where it was going because that's how I do it in 100, but like, that's the moment I said, if I'm gonna do this, I've got to do it like that.
Oh, get rid of those poles.
Yep.
The lead men have hit Crown King, and efficiency is the name of the game nowadays.
Absolutely, you can see it. You can see it. There's urgency on the part of the crews. There's urgency on the part of the aid station volunteers. The world of hundreds and fast hundreds has hit the world of 200s. No doubt about it.
I was going up Center to Highway. I was in third, and Versteeg was not too far back.
You're doing so good. I'm so proud of you. Hey, Michael.
You. When I got to Crown King this year, I was, for whatever reason, I just wasn't interested in the circus of Crown King.
I'm good. I'm just in robot mode, low energy.
It felt like a lot to me, and I was trying to eat, and I was like trying to do a few things. I left Crown King with 0 calories because I was just like, oh, I gotta go. So I grabbed my pack and I left.
I think you forget, like, when you're running 250 miles, you think that like the first 100 should be easy, but like there's no easy way to run 100 miles. I think like just conserving during the first part and not getting too bent up by where I was at in the race like really paid off.
Good job, Arlen.
He seems to look really good, and I was glad we could change his shoes and get him all the nutrition, and he was able to get some real food to eat, so I'm glad to see that. He doesn't like to do too much talking, so he just kind of answers the questions, says what needs to be said, and that's about all of our communication.
It was cool. I think everybody was pretty chill and pretty relaxed going up out, into the Bradshaw Mountain.
You want more?
Next to?
I'll give him
No.
Keep it up, you. All right, dude. You guys have a good one.
13 out.
It just was Versteeg and I the rest of like all the way through to, I don't even remember where. He and I hung out for a long, long time, just the two of us talking.
Like Jeff and I talked about being dads for like hours and like started like tearing up on the trail together, because we're like talking about our families and talking about our kids.
He has a daughter now, and it's like 11 months old.
Of all of the stereotypical things to say about parenthood, the one that is most true for me is there's a before and there's an after part of your life. And the before part of Mars being alive is sort of dead. And for the first time in my life, I'm doing things to make my daughter proud of me. And I want, that's a burning desire, that's a strong motivation, that's a strong feeling I have to do something that she can look back on and be proud of, that I'm her father.
I'm Amanda Lane. I've had the Hike Shack for 13 years. I'm one of the business partners. Mike is incredibly laid back. As an athlete, he blows my mind. He can jump off the couch and run 100 miles and not think about it. But as a human, he's also very kind and very thoughtful.
Just like to do the best that I can do, obviously, but the appeal of going slower and not caring. So I think I'm being a little idealistic. I think I probably land somewhere in the middle of what I'm saying, and it's because clearly I do want to do well at the race.
When you're done and when it's too much and you
really would rather sleep those 8 hours and play with your baby, you'll know.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, like considering it like sort of like a prison sentence or something, or like in order to see my baby again, I can only see her in Flagstaff, like at the finish line, you know.
For basically from 25 miles to 60, I did not see another runner. Like, I literally finally met Versteeg at Camp Kippa. Like, that's where I actually got to meet Versteeg for the first time. So that was really cool.
It went great, yeah. Couldn't ask for anything. I mean, yeah, it was just, yeah, perfect. Had the perfect amount of water. Effort was really good. Yeah, I'm feeling really solid. Just can't wait till we get to something I can run. I just looked at my watch, and according to this, I am half done with the climbing at mile 60, which is just insane.
And then we shared quite a few miles. Soon after that, we ran together for like quite a while, like through the next aid station.
I don't know if he expected this, but String Bean is already way out ahead.
He's literally getting to aid stations and they're not even ready for him. The legend of String Bean grows.
At the aid stations. What? So I'm getting in too early.
Oh. They do know that you're coming early.
Last 3 aid stations, just been like, well, you're keeping us on our toes, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I kind of had the race in my control. I don't think I was over racing. It's always hard to tell because you're against good competition, so you don't know if you're trying to tell yourself a certain story, but I was just feeling really good, running really smooth, and knew that I really had control of the race if I could keep it together.
Yep. Fantastic. Good job.
You know, you have to imagine he had a plan. He was going to stick to it. But yeah, I suspect he didn't think he'd be alone, and this alone, this early.
Yeah. Yeah. Go get him. Make it look easy. Well done. Go, Joe. Okay.
As sun sets on the Cocodona 250 day 1, Joe McConaughey is in the lead.
What did you guys feed Joe? Holy crap, he's flying.
So you want to know what we fed Joe? Nothing, because he got here before we were set up.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he's killing it right now.
Hi. Do you have any kind of warm food for me when I get there? That doesn't sound good, right? Oh, my stomach's jacked. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, thanks. Bye. Yeah, I had a hard time eating anything. Sometimes in these races, I get this gag reflex where if the food touches my tongue, I just start dry heaving and like I just cannot get it down my throat. And so that started to happen at Camp Kippa.
Thanks for your help.
Kept trying to stay positive because I kept trying to remember what happened the year prior where things just turned around and I felt amazing. But I also knew with the competition that I didn't have as much leeway to get in such a deficit to like try to make a comeback later. And so even though I knew a comeback was possible, even though I felt like crap, I also knew that I had less time to figure stuff out to make that comeback.
Yeah, my name's Katie McConaughey. I'm Joe's wife, and I'm out here crewing. We got a bunch of pacers. Most of my whole family's here. So yeah, we're just having a good time and getting everybody involved. So.
Yeah, I'm Ryan, and Joe was my coach last year. I'm here pacing him from Whiskey Row to Iron King. I wasn't really expecting him to be like have this much of a gap this early, but yeah, he's looking really good. Hopefully he can hold on to it and keep it going. Hey! Oh yeah! Yeah! Hockey Ryan! Nice job! Joey!
How does that feel, Joe?
It's a little tight, but it doesn't hurt.
Okay.
But I would just work into it a little bit. Hammy's feeling good, yeah. And then the right soleus too, once we're done with the hammies.
We'll walk all the way to Flagstaff.
So I left Whiskey Row, feeling pretty good. I was rolling through, had really good energy levels. I picked up my pacer, Ryan, who's a Prescott guy.
So coming out of Whiskey Row, I picked up my first pacer. We were just catching up, and we were getting into like the navigation section off the road once you come into above the Granite Dells, and it starts to get a little confusing in there. And we'd missed a little bit of a turn, like maybe 100 yards, and we came back and found the flags. And he said, "Well, I'm on the map. I got it." And I go, "No." I think I said extreme ownership. I'm like, I'm racing. I'm responsible for being on course. You're just my backup. So yes, you should be responsible for the course and looking at the map, and I will be too, and we'll both be looking. Literally 15 minutes later, we see lights coming, and I'm like, well, that must be media or something, I said to him.
The concern is that the tracker is telling us that Joe is not going as quickly as he was, which was quite fast, admittedly. So we were thinking he was maybe going to get here at like 10:30. It's 10:30 now, and I think he's still like 5 miles away. So, yeah, we don't know for sure. We're hoping nothing bad happens. The last mile's been really slow.
I was looking at my watch, and it said we were getting further and further away from end destination. I was like, well, this is weird, but we were following the blue line, so I was like, oh, like we're on course. And Joe was like, oh yeah, we're on course.
And then we saw 2 headlamps coming at us from the opposite direction. And I was like, oh no, I bet those are 2 guys who are lost. And of course it's Jeff Browning and his pacer.
And I was like, guys, you're going the wrong way. And they're like, what?
No, dude, I think you're going the wrong way. And then my pacer, Ryan, was like, I don't know, I think we may have gotten turned around. He took a wrong turn in the Dells and didn't realize it, and we're going the other way. We're still making good time and keep on trucking forward. So it spiced up the race a little bit, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now in second place. That essentially erased my lead and put me into second place. Ryan was beating himself up because he just was like, felt horrible about it. I was trying to make sure Ryan didn't feel horrible about himself. Because ultimately, in the grand scheme of a 250-mile race, it's not that big of a deal. But if you make bad decisions because something bad happened to you at mile 75, then it can be something that messes with you.
I'm sure it got in Joe's head a little bit, because all of a sudden his lead was like gone.
It's like this weird thing that happens. Like, when bad things happen, more bad things tend to happen. And you try to correct that approach by telling yourself like, hey, I'm just gonna reset, not gonna care, it's all gonna be good, things are gonna be fine. And it didn't totally work.
It's funny because it's not some high altitude mountain. It's not hot. It's like, oh, flat and, relatively easy on paper, but then in reality it sucks.
And I had a planned sleep at Fain Ranch, so we stuck to the plan, got in there, slept 30 minutes.
And I had a plan to sleep at mile 96 and take a 20-minute nap. Jeff, I think it had the exact same plan. I think he'd slept for 20 minutes.
We did leave there quietly, though. They woke me up, got me ready, and my crew was like whispering, Joe's sleeping. We're gonna leave really quietly.
Gee, Darren, where did we go to leave? Oh, I know.
So we walked out of there with like our headlamps off and like stealth mode.
And I just laid there for 20 minutes, so I didn't sleep at all. So I got up and was kind of pissed at myself. But it was like, whatever, I'm not gonna take another 20 minutes to just lay here. I'll keep going. So I got up, I left. I could kind of tell I was a little off. Like I could tell I kind of needed the sleep. About halfway up Mingus, I just knew my moving pace was just way slow. So, you know, in the back of my head, I'm like, man, Jeff is probably putting in some extra time on me right now.
It's always a little bit of stress when you have the lead, especially if it's really early. And so you have to be really careful to manage your mental matches.
Okay. Rest of it hot side. You know. Everyone's still in front. You know. Hey, who's behind him? Versig. How far back's Arlen? Arlen's right behind him. Okay. Yeah, Arlen's maybe 4 miles back there. Okay. I just want to know who's the threat. Arlen's moving pretty smooth. He looked good. I think you could have broken me. Super. Like mentally? Yeah. I waited around after you split to watch it. He was definitely not feeling pretty enough. You're gonna really spent some drone, buddy. Okay. Yeah.
The sun had just come up, and I got into the van, and I was like, well, at the very least, you know, 30 minutes ago, I was like seeing blurry. I'll be able to pass out, so that's good.
That looks like very film.
Right, 10 minutes.
Yeah. He was pretty good until the steepest section of the climb, and then he got quiet, like real quiet.
Yeah.
And so did I, though. I was like, it's kind of tired. This is quite hard. And then we leveled out, and he pepped up a little bit, but his energy is definitely lower than what it was one.
So I slept in the van, and then I woke up, but I never actually woke up. I never even went to sleep again. So I again laid there. I told Katie I was going to take a 10-minute nap. Then she came in after 10 minutes, and I was like, give me more 10 more minutes because I haven't fallen asleep. She's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. So I laid there for 10 more minutes. Woke up, and I was just like really dejected.
That sounds good.
I remember Katie thought I was like going to tell her I was going to quit, which was funny. I think she thought I was about to cry because I was literally just staring. I got these like mashed potatoes, and I just was like, I don't really want to eat these freaking mashed potatoes, but I need to eat something. So I was just like staring off into the distance, and they'd ask me something, and I would just like not respond for a few seconds.
I'm getting a little more salt. A little light on salt tonight. Over the night.
And Katie was like, it's okay, Joe, like, you're doing fine. And I was like, yeah. It was a very sad moment. It was probably like the saddest moment for our whole crew, because everybody just like, I think the mood turned very grim. Soft hands McConaughey is what they call her. Do you like that name, Katie?
I am not a fan. I've never heard it, and I hope I never do again.
How do you explain Joe, his personality?
That's a good question. I feel like he's just this like tall, goofy guy, and gosh, I feel like it's making me think of like my wedding vows, which was like 5 years ago. But it's like that's how I think I started them. I was like, he's this tall, goofy guy or whatever. But he's just like, he's super excitable about things. So he's like, you know, really excited about something really boring, like making popcorn or like, you know, putting on comfortable pants or something.
I should figure out who this song's by because I don't know who it's by. Do you know where the massage gun is?
I just put it away. It's over in the corner.
Oh, it's by Fat Boy Slim. So I was doing this the other day when Katie and I were having dinner because I have like a tight lower back. And there's a song called Funk Soul Brother. Do you know the song?
I think when you play it, I'm gonna know it.
It's, I guess I should probably start doing it. It goes like, right about now, the Funk Soul Brother, check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. But then as the song goes on, they just repeat that same line. And as I was massaging my lower back, I realized, right about now, the Funk Soul Brother, check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother, right about now. The Funk Soul Brother, check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother, right about now. Katie's so over me.
I think like you meet him and you're like, oh my gosh, she must be so positive all the time. Like that's how he does these things. That's how he like succeeds. But I feel like it's actually this like measured neutrality where he like can see, he doesn't react too positively or negative to anything.
Currently at my mom's house. Sometimes getting it down is a hassle. So this is my bedroom. It's where I grew up. All my dreams, hopes, and aspirations are in here. Let's do a test to see how well I fit on my bed still. Which I think I actually can still do. Oh yeah, the slats are always broken on it. So. This is kind of a gem. I still have my old, almost everything on. This is my old Boy Scout uniform. So I was an Eagle Scout, and I was a senior patrol leader, which is a pretty big deal. I went to, this is from National Boy Scout Jamboree. So I went to Virginia for National Boy Scout Jamboree, which if that's not cool, I do not know what cool is. This was my first long, dumb idea. So this is, if anybody knows what MapQuest is, congratulations. This would take you from Seattle and would take you all the way down to Orange County where my uncle lived. And I thought, why not run down, there's a street or a highway that goes all the way down. Why not run from Seattle to all the way to my uncle's house? And so I think I did that in like 7th or 8th grade. And I like mapped out 20-mile stops, and I didn't run it, don't worry. But I mapped out 20-mile stops, and imagine, I was like, I need to figure out how a credit card works, and I need to be able to use a credit card, and I need to be able to go 20 miles a day. Is what I thought my the needs were to do this. And then this is sort of like the original inspiration for when I ran the Pacific Crest Trail, which is like a legit actual trail that's way more beautiful and not on the side of a highway. No, I don't think you did. Where do you want to sit, Mom? I was like, the old lady chairs? Or we can do...
But I also feel like Joe, certainly when you compare it to me, I can be a very competitive person. But Joe, I think, he's obviously competitive. But he also, I think, really enjoys what he's doing. He really likes to enjoy it, and he likes to feel a kind of community with it. Mm-hmm. And I think that running has been, that was good. A friend of mine asked me recently about doing Barkley, for example, if I worried about him. And I think if I was standing and watching everything, I would be worried. Mm-hmm. But I just have this sense of, Joe has a way of just figuring things out, you know?
I can't describe it in any other way than sort of this like level-headedness, neutrality, while also not taking anything like overly seriously.
Playing great, crushing it.
At the same time, he does take things seriously and he gets things done, but it's somehow like with this weird hint of optimism and excitement and acceptance of like whatever happens.
Cocodona is one of the few races where you're like, you will absolutely have an experience, like for better or for worse, and it's going to be more than trail running.
I can't believe I caught back up to those guys.
How you feeling right now?
Just sleepy. I feel okay. The running's fine. Hungry and sleepy. Actually can't decide if I should lay down or just fucking suck it up, but I think a quick lay down. Yeah, I'll see you guys.
Bye. You need your pulse? Syndrome. Bye.
Alright.
Bye, Mike.
It was just getting light as I was going up Mangus. So I had slept between 2 and 3 a.m. is when I slept the first night, which was perfect because when it gets light, often the fatigue kind of goes away. I knew that I would be going down into Jerome, and so I just knew that this spell was going to be kind of rough, and I just was like, you know what, I need to not rush through it, but I need to just trust the process that it's going to get better.
Yeah, my name is George Palmerity. I live in Portland, Oregon, and I'm a crew chief for Jeff Browning.
My crew chief, George, has been my crew chief in hundreds for at least 12 years, maybe over a decade. He's crewed for me in some of my biggest 100-mile wins.
Obviously, having a friendship with someone that long, it has to go deeper than just running, right? But I don't think a lot of people realize just how deep Jeff is. I'd say Jeff Browning is as much of a thinker as he is an athlete, right? He's a really deep guy, and he can be so magnanimous and larger than life in his storytelling that I think some people miss just how deep his philosophy actually is too. I think he feels incredibly strong for where he's at, and the excitement of having the field that tight, but having the right amount of gap that he's got. I mean, he's in the right space. If he can just do his thing and stay Jeff Browning, he's really well positioned for this to turn out well.
So once Jerome hit, I knew Arlen had made up a lot of ground and Versteeg had made up a lot of ground.
That last section was dandy.
That was it. That's just the plain water.
A lot better than me in the van.
That was sad.
I was pretty sad.
And so those two guys were on my radar.
You know, Chris, we sort of thought that once the running parts really started, that Arlen's running pedigree was going to kick in, and you're seeing it right now.
You just got to be chill. With these running 200s, you have to just be perfectly okay with just jumping around. Just know that you're going to have people pass you, and there's just going to be a lot of movement throughout the race.
Seeing it with somebody like Jeff, I just knew he had enough strength and experience that he was going to run consistently for at least the next 100 miles.
I'm John Glick,
I'm Lynette, his wife.
and we are the parents of Arlen's. We were planning to stay home, and then we got to thinking, this is a big race for him. And so we just got back from Greece a few days ago. But we thought, if we would show up in the middle of the race, maybe that would just give him a little extra energy to keep going. So
You are hallucinating. Aw.
just got in my ear, Jeff, and decided to come out.
Oh, okay.
If you got one to give me, I grew up in Ohio. I've lived, I think, in the same block for 3 generations.
I don't know what they look like, but they're pictures. So here is a couple photo albums of him. I think this is when he got a little older, and then this was when he was born. He was born day after Christmas, so he missed. This was the family when he was born. He was actually ended up my fattest baby of all. Oh, there they're all sitting on John trying to take a nap.
Yeah, this is our wood shop. This is where we've done like a lot of our furniture and cabinet work. Not a lot of it's been happening lately. I've been mostly outside running around and traveling or whatever, but back in the day, we had some pretty cool projects turned out here.
His bedrooms, most all the furniture in his bedroom came out of here.
So this is my bedroom. I have a small little section up here for my running trophies. The rest is for my other hobbies. Yeah, pretty much all of them, yeah, have a story to tell, just like the belt buckles do. An antelope, an elk. I've got a couple mule deer over the years. My turkey, I'm pretty proud of that. Built all this furniture. Yeah, I made the dresser out of hickory wood. Actually a big hickory tree from the property that we like to hunt. We cut down a big tree. You may not find this interesting, but this is my tube that goes to my altitude tent.
Oh.
So like I have the generator over in a different room because you never want to have the altitude tent in the room you're sleeping in because it's noisy and puts off a lot of heat. But I have it like piped through the attic, and like this, obviously I don't have it set up right now. But when I'm training at altitude, I can like put this into the tent and anyway sleep at whatever altitude I need to for the next race I'm running. Yeah, super like Beast Coast training going on. My community background setting, like professional athletes, that's just not really a thing. I was a little guy back then, but back in like, I think it was 2003, we gutted the whole thing, and I wasn't much help back then, but my dad built the whole interior of the bus and like made nice comfortable living quarters, put bunks in here and a kitchen and everything else. So this is what we use when we travel around and sing in prisons and wherever we're at.
Which one is Arlen's buck?
Right here.
Yeah.
They took all the bedding off to wash it or something.
Yep.
But anyhow.
I've lived like, I don't know, a couple of years of my life in this thing probably. Over the past 20 years, we've spent a lot of time on the road, so yeah, this feels like home. Like growing up in Ohio, it's not the most ideal training setting, but it does work. Like, I have a hill that I can go out on, and it may seem like grossly boring to the average runner, but to me, like, I can get in my zone, go out to Mount Deerfield, and like just run up and down for a couple hours.
All right, let's go for it.
It's not an ideal setting, but it's obviously something that a normal Joe, an average Joe can do. Like, you can actually prepare in a very different setting and compete with the best. Success so many times comes from just like that drive, something that lights that fire. And many times it comes from like adverse situations, like not the ideal. Like maybe you weren't like born and raised halfway up a mountain, but you can like go there and chase it down anyway.
What's up, brother?
Oh, the minutes.
Hello, you buddy?
Yeah, man. Oh. Shit, all the way to this corner here. You see Jim? Oh, yeah.
Were your eyes closing a little bit?
Oh, I could close my eyes.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's to be expected, right?
No,
We're
that's,
getting,
I mean, it's part of
we're getting into
getting
this.
hands down low too.
We're getting into this. How's the electrolyte thing? You feeling like you're in the right balance now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just a really hot section. The only thing I'm worried about is that was such a hot section that I'm probably a little depleted.
Yep.
And it almost is worth like sleeping now.
Okay, let's do it. And you'll crush the climb.
Because otherwise I feel like I might just drag up that.
Yep, let's do it.
Let's get you down.
I was kind of shocked because I ran through Deer Pass just feeling great. But right when we came into Sedona, I started to feel kind of the effects of the full day.
We're at the Cocodona aid station. Basically, Joe's just kind of spent the day out in the valley, kind of working his way up to Sedona. It's been hot, but now in the last couple hours, we've got a wind to kind of pick up, and it's cooling off a little bit. The thing is, we're gonna basically get him all loaded up for kind of the next hour to a couple hours, probably 5 hours of climbing up to a higher elevation. He's been moving really well. He's been slowly making a dent on first place and putting a little bit more space between him and third.
I mean, you can stop to sleep, but the clock never stops.
Exactly, and you know what a lot of these guys do? They'll say to their crews, okay, I'm going to sleep, wake me up in 10 minutes.
Can you imagine having run for a day and a half, get 10 minutes of sleep, and then try and run for another day and a half?
It's like, oh, well, all we have is 120 miles to go over a couple of mountains.
We kept plugging away, but I was planning on sleeping again at Schnebly because I didn't have a good sleep at there, and I was like, I gotta sleep up there.
I was just so tired. Like, I had never been that long without sleep, and so it was just like my body was trying to figure out, like, what are you doing to me? It was really taxing on me. I really was starting to lose faith in myself.
Yeah, let's see, what time is it? I don't even know. I think it's probably like 10:30-ish. You know, we left Sedona a couple hours ago, and it looks like Jeff really chopped down that big climb pretty well, so pretty stoked. Got a text from the pacer that they're pretty happy. They're coming in feeling pretty good, so what are they? Or they can't be more than 5 miles separating them all, right?
Yeah, I mean, 3, 4, 5 each came in with maybe a mile in between them.
Yeah.
Like
Wow. And that's like, what, at mile 160 something?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, exactly.
What the heck? This is going to be a legendary race, you know. Do we have, I see headlamps.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
They had my stuff ready, crew was ready for me to sleep there.
How do your feet feel?
I mean, I was falling asleep in the chair.
Just take it.
Do you want to get some calories in first, buddy? You want some broth?
Let's walk. Let's charge stuff.
Like when I left there, I started noticing every time I stopped, I had trouble, my airway was just slightly restricted, meaning it'd take me a bit. I'd have to walk and jog and walk and jog, and then everything would open up and I could breathe again.
I told Michael like a mile before, I was like, hey man, not feeling very good, just a heads up. And within a mile, I was like, I need to take a dirt, like this is just not sustainable. So I took a dirt nap for 10 minutes, didn't fall asleep again, shocker. This was like the third arrow of like, doink, and I just missed. So at that point, I just was like, I'm gonna just try to make it and power walk to Schneebly if I have to.
So we were walking up Schneebly Hill Road, and this is when I found out that I can sleep while I walk. But I literally could walk on the road and I could keep my eyes closed and be sleeping. And then as soon as I felt my weight shifting, like as the road would like lean as I would get off the edge, then it would like wake me up because I would be like losing my balance and I would just like wake up.
Within 10 minutes, that whole plan failed. I was like, I need to stop again. I feel horrible. So I was like, okay, Michael, another 10-minute dirt nap. I'm feeling like more tired this time. And I tried a different sleeping position where I literally just like found a rock and just laid straight back like I was in a recliner. And I hate sleeping on my back. Like I can't sleep on my back. But the good news was I slept for like 2 or 3 minutes and that was the game changer for me. Right when I woke up from my dirt nap is when Harry passed me the second time. So I like woke up and this guy passed me and he's like, oh, how you doing, bud? I was like, oh, dude, good to see you. Like feeling like trash. Like turns out no sleep kind of sucks, but like I hope you're feeling better.
This road was like forever.
Yeah, sure was. It felt forever driving it.
It's gonna go all the way to the next section.
He lived in Alaska for 5 years, I think, but he lives in Reno right now. He's originally from Lithuania, though. And that's the thing is, you saw him. Like he's just hanging out. He's just enjoying, he's enjoying each aid station. I mean, his girlfriend can speak volumes to it. He's just he's not here for anybody else. He's here for himself.
Kind of every time he shows up to a new race and people haven't heard of him, they don't forget his name afterwards.
My name is Harry, or I go by Harry. Real name is Haraldas Schubertas. I've been a runner since I was 10 years old.
What did I do to deserve you guys?
After I done the Tahoe 200 and it was well, I wanted that challenge of Triple Crown. And a month after the Tahoe 200, I did a Crazy 100 race, and Mike McKnight was there crewing for Cameron Hayes, and he was at the finish line, and we were chatting, and he kind of like planted that idea. He's like, yeah, Triple Crown is cool, but now they're so far apart, it's less of a challenge. So Cocodona has to be part of that challenge. And that's kind of where it got planted to my head. It's just like, yeah, okay, I have to do all four. Like, I am just extremely honored to be running with all of these guys, Most of them I've never met. I think the only person that I've met was Mike. Everybody else I've only heard about them, and I know how great they are. I was extremely honored to be running next to them. Yeah.
I took a 75-minute sleep at Schneebly, which was like unprecedented in my mindset and game plan going in.
The whole way up from the river crossing, all the way from Sedona all the way up, Lee was helping me strategize. I think if you sleep again, you'll be a brand new person tomorrow, and like there's still a lot of race left. Let's just really embrace the sleep. So I just blocked off and I told my sister, I said, give me 40 minutes.
Start running. Do you know where you are, babe?
We're at the...
So we're at Schneebly. We're at Cocodona.
Yeah.
We're like 180 miles in?
And I need to finish the race.
Mm-hmm.
Pain to me is just like sort of any other sensation or feeling. Like I have a pretty good mental control of it, and I can sort of just play mind tricks on myself the whole time with dealing with pain. So it's like, you know, it takes a long time to like train your body or train your mind to realize that, like, you don't really have to listen to pain.
And it's interesting too, because when you look at this group in the front of the pack right now, some of them, let's face it, are more experienced with this kind of pain than others. Experience is everything in long distance running, especially of this length. And if you haven't experienced it, you don't know how you're going to respond. Whether it's a stomach issue, a quad issue, a foot issue, pain is for everybody. And it's how these guys deal with it, how they respond to it, how they rise up to it, that's going to ultimately make the biggest difference.
One of the amazing things to consider is that these runners still have 60 or 70 miles of pain yet to go.
And you know what? It's not just the physical training, Chris, but it's the mental training. It's what's going on between the ears, which could be the difference between success or failure in this race. So the mental fortitude to put one foot in front of the other, the mental attitude to be able to say, oh, you know what? It's okay that my feet are trashed. I can deal with it tomorrow. The mental just strength to be able to do what they need to do. They've all got strong mental games. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top.
Arlen left maybe 15 minutes behind me and got into Munns Park like a mile ahead of me. I got into Munns Park like 2 miles ahead of her Stieg. So Arlen had basically flip-flopped and gained like 3 miles in that one section. And then he opened up another 3 miles over the next like 20 miles. So Arlen was just doing a ton of running then. And that was like watching your dreams go to die, of seeing Arlen being the guy and doing all the running that I knew I needed to make in order to make the move to have a chance.
We just kept plugging away, and Harry was kind of staying at like 4 miles behind us through that whole section. He wasn't really gaining on us until we got into Fort Tuthill, and they were like, oh no, he's like, you know, he's close. He's getting closer.
I think if you can stop the poop breaks, then
There's been plenty of 100-milers over the years that I've won that I had a huge lead, and you're never going to be your best performance in that situation. But you have someone breathing down your neck 5 minutes back, you'll perform.
Lift up some bacon too.
You know, you put up or shut up. And I like to think that I'm a gamer, so I like to rise to the occasion. I like the pressure. I feel like I thrive on the pressure. I understand the sport has to evolve. Some people get frustrated at my age. You know, you could consider me an old timer. And a lot of the old timers are like, oh, back in the day, I wish it was still like that. But I like that it's evolved. I love like putting in big runs and crazy adventures and going to the gym, and sitting in the sauna, and like all of it, all the pieces that go along with like training for something like this. I am a geek about it. You know, I love all the little moving parts and trying to figure stuff out. You know, it's like a life puzzle. Moving to Flagstaff was definitely a good move for ultra running career. I mean, there definitely have been some struggles moving here, you know, because we've moved our kids a few times in the last 5 years, and it's hard to move out of a community. You know, we were in Bend, Oregon for 17 years, and having a deep community there, you kind of take it for granted until you leave and then realize, oh my gosh, what have we done?
Like, he is so committed to his family, and like watching the way he is with his kids and the way that like him and Jen and like just the beauty of their love and their relationship, and watching it just deepen and like enrich and then like raise these like amazing humans over the years. And I mean, it's really inspiring to see.
cool thing about ultra running is even if things go wrong, you can always find ways mid-race to adapt and set new goals and find new ways to push yourself.
Yeah, Mike.
What's up, Bill? How you doing?
Real good.
And so I remember, heading into Schnebly, I accepted that my race in terms of competing with the other guys was over. And so the new focus that I had was trying to keep up with my ghost from the previous year.
In the third day, I started becoming more aware of like, hey, where are the guys at? Like, we got some rundown to do. We got some catching to do. I just didn't expect this to turn out. You dream of it turning out to be like this kind of a race, but this is working out a little better than I would have anticipated. It's a little more of a race than what I expected. Usually we see, huge time gaps in the top runners. The fact is, like, we have, I don't know, I'm not watching closely, but a lot of guys really close. So it's exciting. After Munns Park at 190, I looked at Lee and I said, my legs and my body, I feel like I just woke up and I'm just going out for a morning jog. Like, that's how good I feel.
And I was worried about Arlen because he was moving up, right? I started hearing reports that he was moving up, and I was like, I knew he was coming. And I was like, dude, he wants to beat me. I know he wants to beat me.
I came into Walnut Canyon and my crew says, Arlen is only 40 minutes behind you. Before that, at Fort Tuthill, I knew that he was like over an hour, so that means he caught up. He got the second win for sure, and I know how strong Arlen is. From there on, I'm like, okay, I don't care if it's uphill, downhill, flat, I'm running. I'm not walking any sections unless I can't breathe.
As I was running, there was hours where I just like kept looking at the trail and I was just envisioning like spotting Jeff or spotting Harry. Almost the whole day I was running down the trail, just waiting for that moment when I would see them.
I'm like, I just got to keep plugging away, and I might be able to win this thing. That was the first time I let myself think maybe I can get this.
Well, with the last climb of the course coming up in Mount Eldon, we've got ourselves a race.
And it's a beastly climb. Let's face it, it's a punch in the teeth right after everything they've been through. It goes up above 8,000 feet, maybe even close to 9,000 feet, one more time, and it's a race to the top.
And then all of a sudden they said, he's a half a mile behind you. Well then, that kicked in whatever primal stuff I had left, was just to like put my head down and breathe as hard as I could. I was like going so slow because I just couldn't get any air.
Do.
My pacer going up to Eldon, every hiker was coming down, he's just asking like, okay, have you seen the runner, how far he is? And that was like all we were getting. And some people were like 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and it was like really close. But then I'm like, once he crests over and I knew he summited, I can't catch. Like, you can't make up that kind of time on a downhill.
The climb to Eldon was so nasty. I didn't take enough water. And so I was rationing water. And I was like so close to passing out, getting up at altitude. And you gotta remember, I had just made a 12-hour surge of a lifetime. It really hit me when I finally crawled over Eldon that I had chased all day for something that I wasn't gonna get. And it was, yeah, it was something I had to just,
I cannot believe that we live in a world where I'm sitting here watching this on a freaking live stream. It's insane. Holy shit. Holy shit, Jeff. Holy shit. What a strange world we live in nowadays, my friend. Oh, look at this. He's running, boys and girls. Hell yeah. Oh.
And then I got to the top, put everything away, and was like, okay, I've done this a bunch of times in hundreds. Like, I just need to roll this road. I have plenty of experience doing this. I've done it. I know I can do it. And I took off like rolling like I normally would. I kind of felt like I was intoxicated. Like I was so lightheaded. It felt like I was kind of floaty. And so I took off at like sub 8-minute pace. My legs were there. I was like, oh man, my legs are there.
This is delayed. He is there. They're already 3/4 of a mile out of the aid station.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Sub 8s? Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Oh my God, I'm like kind of having minor heart attacks.
Me too. Oh, Harry's almost at the top.
Longevity. That is him at the top.
Yeah, that's the descent
Okay.
off.
Harry's been hard charging, but Jeff has got enough of a lead that he should be safe.
Once you crest the hill, you've got the road down and then the smooth trails of Buffalo Park and then the roads into Flagstaff. Pretty much, you summit Eldon, you're gonna win.
Yeah, coming down from Eldon has typically been a victory lap for the winners of this race.
Yep, it has been, and I mean, I don't see anything changing this year.
I couldn't run anything anymore, more than like a 20-yard pull, and I couldn't breathe. I mean, and all you could hear was my breath going. And and it was like really constricted. I was just like, this can't be happening. Like, I'm like so close to the finish line.
Jeff Browning and Heroldus Subertus are within 0.1 miles of each other with a few miles to go here on the course. We've got a runner cam here. We've got a drone in the air. We are going to continue to just keep our eyes on the course until we see who shoots out of those pines first. Oh my God. I never in my life imagined that we would be like sitting here wondering who is going to hit the final 2 miles of the race first.
Never saw it coming.
Not in a 250-mile race.
The suspense is killing me.
I know. I'm done. We've got a runner on screen right there. Let's see who that is. Jeff was wearing white gear. So we are going to assume that this, I think we can safely assume that this is Jeff with his pacer.
I don't know. Is it? Harry was wearing like a light green shirt, wasn't he?
This is your men's leader here in the Cocodona 250.
I'm still not
Jeff looking back.
100%.
He's looking back. He knows he's being chased. Wait, those are poles.
I think
Jeff did have his poles out.
he put them away in the downhill. Harry
That
had
might be
long
Harry.
sleeves. I think it's Harry.
And so I get down to the wash. There's the last kind of climb, trail climb up into the back of Buffalo Park. And right when I start into the climb, at this whole time, I'm walking and looking over my shoulder, looking over my shoulder. And I see Harry drop into the wash, running with his pacer. I can't run. And so I just sat on a log and waited for him to come up. And we'd never met before. And I said, I mean, I sounded like the Godfather. Harry, you get the win, man.
Wait, our runner tracker is indicating that Harry has passed Jeff.
Am I seeing this right, Chris? Harry Suburtis is now in the lead of the Cocodona 250? Oh my gosh.
That is a bucket hat. That is Heroldus Suburtis has passed Jeff Browning here in the final 3 miles of the Cocodona 250. That is Heroldus
Harry.
Suburtis.
He's got the poles.
Yes!
Okay, I did not see this coming. I don't think any of us saw this coming. As far as we know, at this point, Harry Suburtis is in the lead, rolling into the streets of Flagstaff as the next winner of the Cocodona 250. Where did that come from? Where did that come from?
To have the leader of the race getting passed with 2 miles to go, and there be that much mutual respect for each other to actually compete to the finish line. Not to walk it in together, I think shows the ultimate sportsmanship.
I stood up, started walking, I called my wife, told her what happened, and that he just passed me, and I'm walking it in, and I'm in second, and I'm just walking this in. I'm not gonna do any more damage to my lungs at this point.
Jeff Browning on the streets of Flagstaff now with his family, his crew, his pacers leading for over 150 miles of the race, is now rolling into a second place finish.
It's not necessarily how I envisioned this race going down, because I envisioned me winning and getting a course record. But I think it's probably what was supposed to happen. And just to see the community come out and like support me in this, you know, as a local runner, like it really, really did touch my heart. And I don't think that would have happened had I just won it with no struggle like that. But I just nailed it. I think it just would have fed my ego. That's not always what we need. Sometimes it's what we want, but it's not what we need.
You know, I never did get to taste that sweet revenge of where I caught what I was chasing. But like, I can't imagine Cocodona without the chase. I'm so glad that I believed in myself. 'Cause like, that gave me a 12-hour window where I was just running with like just something raging. I had worked so hard for the win. Not getting what I wanted, what I thought I wanted, was hard. But I did get an experience that was so much more.
And 1, 2, 3.
I think what happened this year, it speaks to why this sport is so incredible.
Every time I race or do an FKT, yeah, there's just so much about my physical self where I'm learning about how can I optimize my performance, how can I push harder, and there's a lot I learn about my psychological self where I understand more about what makes me tick. Like every time I do something like this, it kind of makes me, you know, repaint the mural, so to speak.
I love that I got 5th place. I love that all those guys finished ahead of me. And in a lot of ways, I feel like I just had the best seat in the house to the entire race. Because like I got to witness a lot of what was going on at the front, and I got to share time with all of those guys who are all like amazing guys, and they're all amazing runners, and like I got to experience such a memorable experience for them and for myself. Thanks for your help.
But you were amazing out there.
Thanks.
You were amazing.
You know, I got into this sport because I was chasing a better me. You know, at Cocodona, you know, I was chasing that competition, and chasing competition is fun. But at the end of the day, if I didn't have other things to chase, like bettering myself or trying to finish a 200-mile race, the worst 200-mile race of my life in terms of performance, but finishing it and having fun, like in that moment, that's what I needed to chase, and that's the only reason I was able to get to the finish.
Feeling like, I don't know, I've never had that kind of feeling. It was crazy. Now there's a lot more pressure, I guess, to push even harder on those races. But yeah, I got addicted to 200s.
The process was so much more than what the accomplishment could have been. And to me, Cocodona was just the experience, just that experience of a lifetime.
Probably sounds like a little like shallow to say, wow, well, I got second. But to like, it's so close I could taste it. Oh, it was so close.
If you're not chasing that next thing, are you devolving? I don't know. I don't know where to go with this. Maybe we're all sick, you know? We're all sick and we need to chill out maybe sometimes. Who knows?
Mountain high, valley low, feel it all, take it slow.
People say that I ran faster this year, but I feel like nothing can ever touch that first time experience. It's just like it's just how it is. I'm actually envious of like first time runners. It's like getting to experience that for the first time. It's like getting to watch your favorite movie for the first time ever, you know?